So right on the eve of the Xbox showcase, guys, we are set to see some awesome Xbox Game Pass games this May and June, and we'll kick this off with the game that's available today in Brothers. Now, sadly, this isn't the remake, but this is still one of the best adventure games you can potentially play co-op, where you are two siblings on a mission to find a cure for your dad, and you have to go through some treacherous landscapes to survive. It's a really heartwarming story. It will definitely pull on your heartstrings, and one that you should play if you haven't already. This arrives on consoles, cloud, and PC on May 15th. So NHL 24 has already released on Game Pass, but on May 16th we are getting the cloud version. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of this franchise as I've gotten to play it since it launched on Game Pass. If you guys like hockey at all, go ahead and dive straight into this one. Now, a big game that's coming out on Game Pass is Immortals of Aveum. This is a thrilling FPS title that puts you in the shoes of Jack. This is a hero joining a group of powerful mages to save the world, and the game has gained quite some impressive reviews due to its action-packed combat. You get to use a ton of different spells split into red, blue, and green, and these are the types of offense and defense. Plus, there's a talent tree with over 80 abilities to upgrade your skills. It's a bit of an underrated title that comes packed with a great story, some cool looking magic combat, and a lot of ways to improve your character. If you're looking for an FPS title with a great single player campaign and fast paced spell casting combat, the game's a must play. Immortals of Aveum offers more than 20 hours of playtime, and trust me, you wouldn't want to leave this game before it finishes. This arrives on Game Pass on console, cloud, and PC on May 16th. If you guys are really liking this video, go ahead, guys, and give me a thumbs up, and if you guys can subscribe if you guys haven't already, I'd really appreciate it, as the more of you that subscribe, it helps me build this channel and make more videos for you guys. So we have a super exciting day one Game Pass game coming in Galacticare, which is all about building and managing hospitals in space, and the game's a full-on medical sim in space where you'll be recruiting staff to handle the care of some insane looking aliens and their illnesses that you've never seen before, all with the ultimate goal, of course, which is just making money. You'll be designing your hospital from scratch, building it in every unique way you please. Meanwhile, while you actually do recruit staff, you have to take into account their personalities, the leveling choices, the skills, and more. There is, of course, a story mode that you can play, or you can just go completely in sandbox mode and just let this thing run completely free and wild. This is one of the more exciting management sim titles that I've seen released, and I love that it's coming to Game Pass, guys. That's awesome. This comes out May 23rd on console, cloud, and PC. So what now instantly becomes one of the best co-op party games on Game Pass is the game Moving Out 2. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the franchise, it's a bit of a classic and unique spin on working together with your buddies, where you have to essentially pack up and like move houses and just move things in general together. But the physics-based moving simulator really makes for some of the most hilarious things, because in working together, sometimes people don't coordinate well and it just turns into complete chaos. Now, you can play this adventure mode solo if you want, but you do get the most fun playing with friends or family nearby. But the cool thing with Moving Out 2 is there is online play if you want to go that route. So Moving Out 2, guys, is an awesome game. This is available on cloud, console, and PC on May 28th. So if you're into innovative puzzle games, you're going to find Humanity quite intriguing. Now, it's a pretty strange yet mind-bending puzzle platformer where you play as a dog in charge of leading a massive crowd of humans to achieve salvation, and you can make these humans turn, jump, dive, swim, and even fight battles, all to help reach their goal. Each level is like a big puzzle that you have to solve, and along the way there's these really cool giant gold beans you can collect if you guys want like an extra challenge. And as you progress through the game, you'll unlock new abilities for the humans, like jumping and swimming, which make puzzles even more interesting. And with over 90 uniquely designed levels, Humanity is sure to keep you guys hooked for a long time. This arrives on Game Pass for PC, cloud, and console on May 30th. Then we have Firework. This is a horror puzzle game set in a remote mountain village in China. Now, in this game, you play as a rookie police officer tasked to solve a closed case of a massacre following an accidental fire at a funeral, and you do that by solving increasingly challenging puzzles as you dig deeper into this mystery. This is a horror game, but it's not about jump scares, it's about creating a creepy atmosphere. This looks like a good one when it lands on Game Pass for PC on June 4th. Alright, so we do have Vampire Survivors new DLC called Operation Guns. This is available today. This brings like a cool Contra mashup with like Vampire Survivors. It adds guns, new characters, and a big map. If you guys haven't played Vampire Survivors yet, this is an absolute great time. So we have the game Channts of Sennar. Now, this is a unique game where you embark on a journey to decipher ancient languages to restore connections with the times of old. And this is a puzzle game through and through, where you're going to be observing the environment around you, trying to uncover the mysteries of the settings you're in. There is some interesting elements of stealth and having to traverse forbidden areas, but ultimately the goal here is to have the people reconnect with these ancient times and this forgotten speech. The game lands on Game Pass on May 15th on cloud, console, and PC. Alright, so guys, we are finally here. We are finally set to see Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Now, this is the sequel to one of the most highly acclaimed action-adventure games. In Hellblade 2, you are once again back in the shoes of Senua, who continues her journey through the dark and desolate world of Viking Iceland. But this time, you can expect the game to be a bit more darker compared to its predecessor, as Hellblade 2 shifts to Unreal Engine 5 that really bumps up the level of horror and realism. And that's not the only thing getting an overhaul. According to some news the devs have let slip, we now know the combat system in Hellblade 2 is getting a full rework, and while we only caught a little bit of a glimpse of that in the extended trailer, I do expect it to be more fast-paced and maybe even more intense, especially if we consider how Senua's personality might have hardened after she embraced her mental condition. Luckily guys, we don't have to wait too long, as Hellblade 2 arrives on Game Pass on May 21st as a day one release. I swear, I feel like indie developers are the ones that just have all the innovation, and Hauntii is another great example of that. This is an upcoming exploration puzzle game where you take control of a naive ghost who embarks on a journey to learn all you can about the afterlife, and you do that by taking control of other objects and enemies using your ghostly powers and of course some deadly weapons. While at its core, Hauntii is a twin-stick shooter, it doesn't let you go rogue with it. The shooting and combat are more paced, as the game pushes you to come up with smarter solutions to the problems that you faced, whether that's making trades with other ghosts, or sneaking your way out of trouble, or taking control of environmental objects to help you tackle the problem without bloodshed. But the first thing that really draws your attention to this game, at least for me, is Hauntii's art style, which is quite unique to say the least. This should be a good one when it lands this May. So if you're looking for something maybe a little bit more relaxing but yet still really rewarding, Rolling Hills might be that game. Now, this is an upcoming life simulator that lets you play a robo chef, and you get to run your very own restaurant in a cozy little village, and the game looks gorgeous with its stylized visuals, adorable characters, and wholesome vibes. And while your task in this game is to whip up new recipes for delicious sushi, the game lets you do much more than just managing your shop. You get to chat around with the locals over coffee, you can make new friends, you can build relationships, and you get to hang out with them and learn their stories and their everyday life. I think Rolling Hills is a great game for anyone who just kind of maybe wants to take a break from their hectic life and start a whole new side hustle. Rolling Hills lands on Game Pass this June 4th. So we have a new day one Game Pass launching this June in Still Wakes the Deep. Now this is like almost Halloween coming a little slightly early with this one, as this is a first-person narrative horror game where you're this grizzled offshore oil rig worker who all of a sudden finds himself fighting for his life, and you're being stuck in this freezing North Sea waters isn't helping out. Well, of course, a vicious storm is pounding you and your crew, and it leaves everyone in a dire situation. Not only that, but you seem to be kind of the only one who can save the crew that's still left alive. Meanwhile, there seems to be a terrifying creature that's just lurking about. Still Wakes the Deep is a game that's really immersive, letting you take in every sound, jump, and tense moment, and really driving it up all the way to the max as you struggle for survival. If you guys are into immersive first-person horror titles, I think this might be one of the best that drops all year. This will land on Game Pass on June 18th. With that, guys, we have some games that are confirmed from Game Pass that are going to come out this year, and guys, they're pretty good. Starting with Sniper Ghost Warrior Contract 2. Now, this is a modern warfare game that puts you in the shoes of a sniper assassin, and you're tasked with taking out high-profile targets in the Middle East. The game really is all about precision and timing, as you have to find the right moment to take the shot, sometimes from 1,000 meters away. Now, our second Game Pass game that is confirmed later this year is Lords of Fallen, and this is a game that puts you in the shoes of a brave warrior on a quest to take down this demon god. It's a thrilling action RPG title that combines open world exploration with highly intense Souls-like combat, and guys, this game looks seriously stunning, and I feel like it's a bit of an underrated game to say the least. So we now have a big update for Starfield. Now, I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of this game, but now might be that perfect time to get back due to this update. First, the big thing is now on Xbox Series X, you have the option option for 60 FPS, so we're gonna have smoother gameplay. There's also a new ship interior customization tools, which is amazing because that was something you couldn't really mess with too much before. Then we also have a slew of quality of life changes. There's new gameplay options, more transparency with maps, and able to do some stuff now with New Game Plus, which is respecking if you're up for another playthrough. As I've mentioned a dozen times on this channel, I'm a huge fan of Starfield, and now with this new update landing on the 15th, I'm gonna be diving right back, but not before I actually finish my Fallout playthrough because I'm having so much fun with that. Bethesda has me hooked right now, but if you guys are interested in this update, it's coming really soon. We also have confirmation, guys, that the Xbox Showcase is set to show off a ton of games coming to Game Pass on June 9th. Games like Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. Hopefully we get to hear some news about Fable, Everwild, State of Decay 3, and a lot more, and it should be a good one, and I'm expecting to see tons of games, maybe even games that we don't even know about. They're going to be newly announced. So guys, I'm very hyped. Let me know if you guys are hyped in the comments. And with that, guys, we have games leaving Game Pass on May 31st. We have 6 games in total, so a bit of a bummer. As always though, I have a unique list of some amazing games to play this spring and summer you don't want to miss on the screen.